Hey everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. It's Mark Wiens. I'm in the beautiful Napa Valley, California, known for producing some of the world's best wine. And today we are gonna go on a food and sightseeing tour of Napa Valley.
Oh, did you see that? It burst like a bubble.
This is the place you want to be having brunch when you're in Napa Valley. We're going to visit a renowned family vineyard and winery. We're going to go to a restaurant where they specialize in making fresh mozzarella and pizzas.
I've never eaten an entire ball of mozzarella so fast in my life.
We're going to go to a few other restaurants that have incredible food, great wine. This is my first time to ever visit, and I'm excited to share all of the food and the vineyards with you coming up in this video. There's nothing like just picking your own vegetables right from the plant. To begin this video, I want to say a big thank you to Visit Napa Valley and Visit California for sponsoring this video and for arranging the activities. To start off this Napa Valley tour, we are at Cakebread Cellars. We're going to definitely take a tour of the vineyard and the winery, and then we'll be meeting up with the chef who's going to prepare some small dishes to go with some wine. Let's go begin. Welcome to Cakebread Cellars. We're here with Chef Brian.
Yep. Brian Streeter, executive chef at the winery.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Could you just share just a really quick history about Cakebread Cellars?
Yeah, so Cakebread, which is one of the most commonly asked questions when people visit the winery, is the owner's last name. And so Jack and Dolores Cakebread started the winery, our very first vintage, 1973, made Chardonnay. And family-owned business, so Jack and Dolores started the winery. It's very much still a family-owned business. One of the things we really wanted you to see, and something that, I've been with the winery for a little over 30 years now, and one of the reasons that I've been here, the family's very nice to work for, and the Napa Valley is a very special place, but we have a 3/4 acre vegetable garden. So I just wanted to show you all of the menus and things that we do here at the winery. We start with the wine as sort of the starting point, inspiration. And then the garden is sort of the next sort of, what can we use from the garden? Because it's going to be best, and it sort of helps make us a little bit different than maybe our neighbors.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll go on a little walk.
Wow.
So these are concrete eggs. They become very trendy. Winemakers like them. They're smaller vessels for fermentations, and the feel that the shape, the egg shape, actually contributes to the mouthfeel of the wine. So now we're stepping into the fermentation room.
All right, wow.
And this is we just wrapped up harvest, and that's what these tanks are primarily used for, is fermentation. And this is for Chardonnay. It'll be 100% fermented in barrel, and as a wine making team, they have to top them up because there's a little bit of evaporation that happens during fermentation. And then they also stir the lees, and so the lees are like the dead yeast cells and other solids, and they'll stir that up, and it gives the wine more mouthfeel, more complexity.
Something you'll immediately notice about Cakebread is just how clean, how modern the facility is, how just well designed everything is, from this entire giant wooden structure ever since the visitor center at the entrance back here to the cellars, to the fermentation areas.
When they first bought this property, one of the very first things they did was put in a garden, and it's been a cornerstone of how we like to entertain. We always feel that wine's meant to be enjoyed with food, that wine makes food taste better, and food makes the wine taste better. This is some of the most expensive farmland in the United States, and Cabernet can go for several $1,000s a ton. To plant tomatoes on this land really speaks to we're about wine and food here.
Cool.
And so we have, as I said, 75 different beds, and it enables us to grow a wide variety of vegetables. We have probably 36 different types of tomatoes. We got peppers, and all that stuff is sort of coming to an end, and now the fall vegetable garden's going in.
Look at the size of these gourds. Goes all the way from up there down to my feet. Human-sized gourds. Something I love immediately about this garden, is just the lushness and the vibrant colors, the greens, the flowers are so bright, the fruits, and then you've got the blue skies today, which is that contrast. And just like Chef mentioned, some of the most fertile, most expensive soils in the United States right here in Napa Valley. It's spectacular.
The artichoke plant.
String beans?
Yeah. Can't get much fresher than that.
Oh, it's delicious. So crisp and juicy. Wow. There's nothing like just picking your own vegetables right from the plant. I'm here in the kitchen now, and Chef Brian is going to get started on a tasting that's going to be paired with some of the Cake Bread Cellars wine.
Some of the green tomatoes that I just showed you from the garden. As I said, they're not really going to ripen.
Yep.
These are California-ish.
Okay.
So we bred them in panko. We call it a vegetable bolognese, but it's more, I mean, it's lentils and mushrooms and veggies and just sort of slowly cooked down in a vegetable stock with a little bit of Parmesan. Fresh poached shrimp, a little bit of remoulade sauce, and horseradish, whole grain mustard.
Wow. So almost all the produce you're using is all from the garden.
Yep, that's the idea.
And this also comes popcorn
that's,
from the garden.
It's an heirloom variety. We made a wine salt, which we took kosher salt and then covered that in white wine, and so it absorbed it and dried it out. I think everybody likes popcorn.
Yeah.
That oven's hot. This tasting is meant to be a tasting, so they're just sort of small bites. So this is black garlic. This is last year's harvest, and it takes us about a month, where we keep it in a warm environment. It matches up well, especially with steak
black garlic is
and
great.
with a big Cabernet. So this is flat iron steak, which is a nice cut. That's, it's got really nice flavor to it. Again, it matches well with Cabernet, which is going to sort of soften. And this is chanterelle mushrooms, a little bit of shaved celery, some shallot, extra virgin olive oil, celery, and just a splash of our red wine vinegar. One of the best ways to approach wine food pairing is intensity of flavors and the intensity of the dish. If it's really light, then it goes with a light wine. If it's more full-bodied, it goes with a more complex, more full-bodied wine. Everybody's palate is different. So, I mean, living in Asia, your palate's probably a little bit different than mine, and different taste experiences that we've had. And so you perceive flavors differently than I do, and there's no right or wrong answer. And so that's what's sort of fun about doing something like this. So just the impression that it makes on you after you've had the wine, then you taste the food, you go back to it. Does it make it better? Does it make it worse? Does it bring up the acidity? Does it make the wine softer? All these sort of things that you might not even think about, but in a setting like this, where you have 4 wines in front of you, it's sort of a nice opportunity. It's like, oh, this is what I like, or this is what I don't like.
Oh yeah. Not too strong, not too harsh, very smooth and a little bit acidic, tart, would go down really easily. And you taste that wine salt. Chardonnay Reserve.
A little richer mouthfeel, spends more time in the barrels, like as we were walking through the cellar and all the barrels were laid out.
Oh wow, that's great.
A little richer, it sort of stays on your palate a little bit longer, rounder flavors.
Yeah. So we're up now for the green tomato. Wonderful. Oh, the green tomato base, the crispiness, you've got the bounciness of the shrimp, and that rich remoulade sauce, which kind of is a little bit sweet to bring it all together. Wow, yeah. That just kind of, it brings your mouth together. It kind of coats your mouth in a little bit of a, fruity sweetness, but also that little bit of tartness in there as well. Oh, this one is amazing. You kind of smell almost, I almost smelled some caramel as I took that sip. Extremely smooth and just a little bit dry. These are made with kale from the garden. The cheesiness, the richness, and then that kale with another sip. It's the Cabernet, right?
Yeah, so this is Dancing Bear Ranch. So this is hillside Cabernet. So if you're really into Cabernets, farming on the hillside It's a little bit more expensive, but you get a smaller crop. The size of the berries on the clusters are a little bit smaller too. You wind up with more intense wines.
Yeah, that is intense, sharp. It's, oh man, that is excellent. And especially paired with red meat plus some chanterelle mushroom salad on top, like a garnish. Oh wow. The immediate sweetness of the black garlic, the juiciness of the beef, the crunch of the celery, and just those aromatic mushrooms. Oh man, the refreshingness of that salad. Okay, and then chase that. Yeah, the strong flavors of the beef paired together with the intensity of the Cabernet. Awesome combination, an awesome pairing. Wow. Thank you, Chef.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank
fantastic.
you for spending time with us.
Fantastic. We're actually in St. Helena, which is about 15 miles north of Napa town, where we're gonna meet Chef. We're gonna learn how to make mozzarella, how he makes fresh mozzarella, and he makes what was rated as the best pizzas in Napa Valley.
Oh, it's awesome to meet you too, and I'm super happy to be hanging out here at Pizzeria Trevigna. So I'm gonna jump right into it, guys, and show you how we're doing fresh mozzarella. So basically cheese curds, this is like the building block of making fresh mozzarella cheese right now. So to start this process, what I do is I take this super hot water and I ladle it on top of those cheese curds. This whole thing came about because before I was a chef here in Napa Valley, I had an opportunity to work in Italy. 2006, I came back from Italy, and frankly, I was a little bummed out by the quality of mozzarella cheese that we had in the United States of America. So I said, I'm gonna make my own. So what I do is I put my hands in the bowl with the ice water, and then I put my hands in the bowl with the 200-degree water, and I start to stretch the fresh mozzarella cheese.
So that kind of like keeps your hand protected.
Yeah,
Ice
so
your hand a little bit.
So when I burn my hand, I remove it from the bowl, and I put it in the bowl of the ice water.
It in the ice.
If I'm wearing gloves, it takes like a nanosecond longer for that relief, and so that's why I do it without any gloves. As this cheese has been sitting, those curds start to melt down and they start to look like fresh mozzarella cheese. But what I learned was this cheese is never as good as when it's first made. And it's like 10 seconds old and it's still like warm and seepy in the middle. And so when I first started making this, I would taste it in the kitchen and I would say, man, mozzarella cheese made 30 seconds ago is like one of the great things that comes out of my kitchen. Wow. And I'm the only guy that gets to eat it 30 seconds after it's made. I don't get to share this with any of my guests. So I thought that was kind of messed up. Okay, we're gonna start making mozzarella cheese to order. And so at that point, I think we're the only restaurant in the world. I think we're the first restaurant in the world and maybe the only place in the world where you could have mozzarella cheese made to order. When I add that second addition of hot water to that mozzarella cheese, you can see that that cheese becomes super soft and super unctuous. It starts to get like this little elasticity on the outside, starts to get shiny, and that tells me that I just made fresh mozzarella cheese and then I'm ready to go. So what I do right now is I take this whole glob out of that bowl. And for me, it's not about the word stretching mozzarella is actually like a misnomer. What I'm doing right now is I'm not stretching it at all. I'm not pinching it, I'm not prodding it, I'm not beating it up. I'm just kind of gently folding it upon itself. And the cheese really makes itself here at this point. So I can kind of feel it start to firm up a little bit in my hands. I can start to get that nice shininess on the outside. And the more you work it, the tougher it gets.
Okay.
I just kind of pinch that bottom part off. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just drop it in this ice water for like a nanosecond. And that just helps it to like firm up just slightly. Okay. So I still want it to be warm on the outside, right? I finish it with some really nice flake salt right there. Wow. I finish it with some really good cracked black pepper right there. The extra virgin olive oil that I get from here in Napa Valley. Wow. And that's our fresh mozzarella cheese, made to order, mozzarella al minuto.
So literally like seconds after it's prepared, it's in your mouth. You're eating it, it's in your mouth. Oh yes, here it is. So that's literally seconds old mozzarella. Wow. Thank you very much. The freshest mozzarella that you can possibly have. Just olive oil, a sprinkle of salt, a sprinkle of cracked black pepper. Beautiful. Man, some rosemary on top. I cannot wait to try this. Look at the thick slice of that mozzarella. Mmm. Oh wow, that is extraordinary. So delicate. It's not rubbery at all, and yet you can feel the stretchiness. Well, again, I totally agree with Chef Nash's philosophy that most things are the best as fresh as possible. That is unbelievably good. I just ate a half an inch of mozzarella, and it just went down so easily. Thank you very much.
Last pizza,
All right.
small pizza.
Oh, very good.
New
Thank
York,
you.
second half plain cheese.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Thank you. Nice. But this is the main pizza that I wanted to try here because again, it highlights the fresh mozzarella cheese and heirloom tomatoes, chopped up basil, as well as a drizzle of aged balsamic vinegar on top. Oh man, the aroma of that basil. Juiciness of those heirloom tomatoes. The tart sweetness, that same mozzarella, and then that freshness of the basil. I love the tomatoiness of it. Wood-fired Brussels sprouts. Oh, those are hot. I love Brussels sprouts. And then we've got the salad. There's some garbanzo beans, some olives, some beets in here. Really refreshing. The flavor of the olives is what's really making it for me. Okay, for my next slice, I'm gonna add on some chili flakes. An amazing restaurant, great atmosphere, lively. And I think what stands out to me so much about Pizzeria Travinia is the freshness of all the ingredients. Next up on this tour of Napa Valley, we're in downtown and we're going to a place that's called Complin. So I'm here at Complin and with Matt.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome, Mark. This is our restaurant and wine shop. So we just celebrated 4 years in business back here. My partner Ryan Stuttons and I opened this spot because we really wanted a bar to drink at that had the beverages that we wanted to drink. I'm a master sommelier, and so we really just wanted to create a really wine-focused place here in downtown Napa. So we have a shop that we're standing in, and it's kind of funny, like sometimes when people come in, they're surprised by the fact that we don't have a lot of local domestic wines in the shop. And I always tell them that our shop is really for the locals, and a lot of our local clientele is in the trade. So when you make Cabernet all day, the last thing you want to drink at the end of the night. And when we started out, we were really successful, I think, as a wine bar. We hired executive chef Jameer Gray, who's been with us now since July 2020. And she's really elevated the restaurant, I think, to a high level. So really excited to have you eat some of her food today. Blind tastings every Sunday night. So we bottle up 4 different bottles of wine, and we serve them blind. Our goal isn't really to try to trick anybody, right? We're pouring classic wines from classic regions of the world, and so we get a lot of trade in here. 5:30, 6 o'clock on Sunday nights, it just fills up with sommeliers and aspiring sommeliers who are coming to kind of test their mettle with blind wines. So people do pretty well. They get pretty, they get a bit competitive about it. It's really fun. So yeah, I'm going to give you a blind tasting.
And so every week it's a different selection.
Every week, different wines from anywhere throughout the world.
Matt said the best way is to just pour them all in. This one is much clearer. This one is a little more cloudy in those two white wines. This one is a darker red in color. Oh, that one is wonderful too. A little sweeter than the other one, not quite as dry. Yeah, those must be caramelized onions. Oh man, what type of beans are those? White beans or creamy? Just a hint of starchiness, and man, yeah, those sweet caramelized onions are just like powering it.
Next we have our duck fat fries here, local hen egg aioli.
Thank you.
And the burger, two of the things we're known for as staples to the menu. We've got here trying out a bunch of things on the menu, but these are definitely two of the things that never leave the menu.
And just lifting up that bun, yes! Those are I think they're the same caramelized onions. The onions here are incredible. Pillowy soft. Now that is an insanely incredible burger. Those sweet onions are unbelievable. That's beefy, juicy, moist, the perfect oiliness. Only thing I think I will do is add on those pickles. Oh man, the crispiness, the richness, but not greasy. What a combination. So I never would have guessed any of those wines, but all I can tell you is they're all like outstanding. And also a good mix, a variety of tastes, flavors, drynesses.
Right here we have a Liberty Farms duck breast. Liberty Farms is one of our great purveyors. Great curry and sweet raisin flavors. The duck here.
Is the duck, has it been pan fried or seared?
Pan seared. It was pan seared.
Ah, okay.
In the pan as well.
That's great. All right.
And there you go. It's our Liberty Farms duck breast with golden raisin chutney and persimmons.
Can't wait to try it. Perfect cookedness on that. Still pink, juicy. You can see the juiciness. I'm gonna get some of that chutney, some of those persimmons on the bottom to get it all together in one bite. Duck breast lean, it's juicy. We've got that crunchy skin on the top, the sweetness of the persimmon, just that very light sprinkle of curry powder, which almost just provides an aromatic aroma to it.
All right. Thank you. So we have our Stumble Creek hanger steak, fondant potatoes, breaded curry squash agnolotti with a chestnut gremolata. We have our delicata squash.
We're getting a full tour of the menu, so many different dishes. It's the agnolotti, which are little, I guess kind of similar to a ravioli, but maybe stuffed with squash. Erupts with cheesy creaminess that's delicate and delicious with a little bit of pepper in there. Next up for the squash, which is cooked and prepared in a pomegranate glaze. Like the pomegranate syrup, the tartness, the sweetness, and then it's just caramelized onto that local squash. Then we've got the hanger steak served with potatoes, and I think that's a Lebanese garlic sauce. Oh yes, that's cooked perfectly. Exactly how I would want it to be cooked. I'm gonna add a little bit of that garlic sauce. Yes, Lebanese garlic sauce. Oh, that beef still has some texture to it. We're just seared around the edges. You get what's fresh, what is available seasonally. A wonderful place that's wine-driven and local ingredients. Really outstanding restaurant in downtown Napa. We're gonna go to one more place tomorrow morning for breakfast, and that's gonna wrap up this entire food tour. Beautiful morning in Napa Valley, and to complete this Napa Valley food tour, we are at Boonfly Cafe, which is a California contemporary rustic cuisine restaurant that especially focuses on brunch. And it's bright red, almost pink in color. You're not gonna miss it. Really quickly, before we eat breakfast, we're gonna meet up with Chef Jeffrey, who is gonna show us the garden where a lot of the fresh vegetables and herbs that go into the food at Boonfly comes from.
It's nice to have you here, by the way.
Thank you
Even though
very
we have a
much.
little rain on the way. It's,
Thank you.
So we actually have two gardens, one up at the hilltop that's functioning. This area is somewhat new. We just installed these garden beds, so we are in transition now. So as you can see, the gardeners have pulled some of the things they're harvesting, what's out here right now. We've got some chard, we've got peppers coming in, lots of basil, and a lot of it we incorporate into the menus at Boonfly's.
Jalapenos too, or they're like Anaheim?
Anaheim.
These are Anaheims, okay. On the bottom is jalapenos, okay. And again, how we've seen in Napa Valley, the fertility of the soil. Man, the vegetables are so vibrant, so colorful. I love that they have Anaheim, they have jalapenos just growing and just producing so much fruit. The basils are so aromatic, and the Swiss chard, the kale, there's eggplant. Another just a beautiful garden in Napa Valley. And again, it's not just a garden for looks, but it's so useful. It's producing food that's then used in the kitchen at Boonfly Cafe. I love this, the actual architecture and the location of this restaurant. Modern and rustic at the same time on the inside. I love how the entire kitchen is open. They have some bar counter seats, and then they have a big open area dining room table section.
This is our signature.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, great coffee here.
Our one signature dish made Boonfly famous.
Oh, okay.
Our little,
this is something you have to order.
Yes.
You cannot come here without ordering
exactly.
this.
You come to Boonfly, you have to order there.
And man, you smell how hot and fresh they are right out of the oil, dusted with cinnamon and sugar, served with chocolate on the side. Pick that up and your fingers just immediately sink into the pillowy dough of that donut, but yet they're crispy at the same time, dusted in that sugar. Oh man, wow. That melts in your mouth. Yet it's crispy at the same time. So incredibly fluffy. I think what also makes a difference is it's hot and fresh. Ghirardelli chocolate from San Francisco. Wow. Oh, that chocolate, that's the real deal. Refill on the coffee. Thank you, Luis.
You're welcome.
At the next course.
All right, I'm coming with our signature dish at Boonfly. Eggs Benedict with jalapeno hollandaise sauce.
Nice.
And also we have here the green eggs and ham.
Green eggs and ham.
It's also covered with Caggiano ham for Sonoma. It's a sweet ham with lemon leek sauce.
The presentation, the quality of the ingredients, you can just tell. Man, this looks, with the poached eggs on top. Oh, I'm gonna pop it. Let's pop the yolk. First course of action. Oh yes, soft-boiled egg. Oh, look at that yolk. Oh, it's still rolling around. Here we go, yolk pop. Oh yes, there we go. Now we can begin. Should be an English muffin on the bottom. That ham on top. Oh man, this looks wonderful. Oh man, that's incredible. Oh, that local ham, the yolkiness, the runniness, the sauce of that yolk, soft and pillowy, English muffin, the smoky toastedness, you just taste the essence of that jalapeno. It doesn't have a heat to it. Now that's a hash brown done right. Next up for the green eggs and ham. I believe that there is, well, there's hash brown below here. There's poached eggs. Not totally sure what else. There's some of that local ham. Let's, again, break into the poached egg. Oh, did you see that? It burst like a bubble. Oh, that was awesome. It's kind of bright and citrusy. Wow, it's just like refreshing. You've got the crunch of the hash brown on the bottom. Again, the sauciness of the yolk and the richness and that flavor of the local ham, which is extraordinary. And on that bite, they're bringing some more dishes.
We're going to be sending out 2 more cocktails, but these are 2 of our signature ones.
Okay, great.
The most signature, of course, is our Boonfly Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary with
yes.
bacon.
And then we have this, which is like an adult pancake. It's our dark and stormier with the Cruzan molasses rum, which if you have a sip, I promise it tastes just like pancakes. So Micah had his pancakes, this is yours.
Chicken and waffle, free-range corned beef hash, homemade shaved corned beef, and hash browns with 2 poaches, jalapeno hollandaise sauce.
And you know when they hand you a Bloody Mary with bacon sticking out the top of the cup, you know brunch has officially begun. Oh, the tart tomatoiness, the salty crust, the crunch, and the smokiness of the bacon all together in your mouth at once. Look at the bounciness of it. Oh, yolks just never get old, ever. There's spinach, there's more hash browns on here. Beautiful. The hash browns, that corned beef is so flavorful. We've got the addition of spinach in here and some fried onions, which are great. I'm gonna drizzle on a little syrup to begin and onto that waffle. Let's move into the fried chicken. Oh yeah, you can just feel how crispy that chicken is. Oh wow. That fried chicken. Oh man. The crispiness of the skin, and it's just amazing how moist the chicken is, plus the fluffiness of that waffle. I'm gonna add on one more dimension of flavor. I mean, chicken and waffles is just one of the ultimate dishes of sweet and savory, all in your mouth at one time. And we got one more drink here. She told me it was gonna taste like pancakes. It does. Tastes like pancakes and maple syrup.
This is special today at Boonfly. It's chilaquiles.
This is turning out to be the ultimate brunch in Napa Valley. The chilaquiles, there's some scrambled eggs on top. You can see the queso fresco, the guacamole on top, and the cream. Oh, I love the creaminess of the guacamole, the citrusiness. You've got the pillowy scrambled eggs, all of that cream and fresh cheese.
With, of course, our signature bacon, egg white. We have some,
Wow. We have also the Carnero Spritz. It's made with net
Free banana bread. Wow. Made with rice flour, topped with a lemon curd.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
All right. Wow, thank you. Oh yeah. Oh, nice and citrusy, very orange, but very refreshing and bubbly. And then finally, one more bacon beverage. Yes. The bacon here, though, is spectacular. Nice. I do love that play between savory and sweet, bacony and fruity. And I believe this is the final dish here for breakfast, for brunch. This ultimate brunch at Boonfly Cafe. So I think he said it's a gluten-free banana bread topped with a beautiful selection of fruit, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, and bananas, dusted with powdered sugar and a sauce on top. That's another, like, just a mountain of a breakfast. Oh man, I'm starting to go into a disillusioned breakfast brunch craziness right now. There's so many, thank you. There's so many toppings that I think I need to do a 2-fork chase. Oh. And then the tasting back. Oh, that's delicious. Not too sweet. The crumbly banana bread. The bananas on top, which kind of like gives you a couple dimensions of bananas. You've got all that fresh fruit on top. Man. And no wonder they serve brunch all the way from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I think you could sit here all day long. Little nap in between plates of food. As we're sitting here eating, it's completely packed now for brunch today. I mean, that's just a testament of the quality of food, the popularity as a family restaurant, and the outstanding hospitality and service here. And this is the place you want to be having brunch when you're in Napa Valley. What a way to end, what a grand finale. That was an ultimate brunch, and just the quality of the food is just what stands out, and the amazing service. And that really sums up what this entire trip, our entire trip to Napa Valley has been. The produce, the natural ingredients, and then the passion behind the chefs loving what they're doing and highlighting the local Napa Valley ingredients is what stands out to me and is what I think makes a huge difference for the food that you will be eating in Napa Valley. And thank you to all of the amazing people and chefs that we met along the way as well. And I also want to say a big thank you to you for watching this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe now and stay tuned for more food and travel videos. Goodbye from Napa Valley, California, and I will see you on the next video.